several weeks after my 40th birthday, I wasn't feeling well, so I actually left work early. I went home. I couldn't stay awake anymore, so I laid in bed. My wife came home, and then she observed that I was actually vomiting. Turns out I was vomiting blood, and she noticed that. So immediately she took me over to St. Mary's Medical Center, where we had assumed that it was a bleeding ulcer. But when the doctor went in the next day to actually see what was going on, he found what they call ruptured esophageal varices.
Okay.
And that's a condition that occurs with liver damage. The doctor actually referred me to Dr. Rothstein, who's a hepatologist here at the Transplant Center. We had an appointment with him the following week. He ordered some blood work, and based on the blood work, he narrowed it down to cryptic cirrhosis or primary biliary cirrhosis. I'm pretty sure it was primary biliary cirrhosis, which was the cause, which is a genetic condition. We had researched my family tree as far as I could, and it's possible that my great-grandmother, my mother's side, may have had the same condition. But that was back in the 30s when they wrote everything off to cancer and leukemia. The wait just seems like forever. Now, it got to the point where it was real bad when we had went to the beach one day, and it was a Sunday. It was a close beach, Belmar Beach. We got there. We went there with a couple of friends of ours, and I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't acting right that day. And on the way home, my wife had immediately intended to take me to the hospital because I was confused. I was talking to the GPS unit. I was talking to my daughter, who was no longer in the car. She went home with the other people, and there was just total confusion that I can't even remember. I have zero recollection of it. So I wound up in the hospital. Turned out I had something called hepatic encephalopathy, which is the ammonia in your blood and the toxins, which are not able to be filtered out by your liver, they confuse your brain. And then I developed ascites, which is buildup of fluid in your abdomen. They drain the fluid under ultrasound. We're getting an average of 10 liters a week out. It was kind of funny because I didn't want to get the phone. A friend of mine stopped by to visit me, and I kept telling her, just take a message, take a message. She said, Andy, she said, it's Linda. If you want a liver, you'll take this phone call. So I grabbed the phone for her, and they said they had a liver, potential donor, and they always stress potential because once the liver gets here, something could be wrong with it or it may not be the right size. Well, we waited till about 2:30 in the morning. Turns out that I can't, that the liver was too big for me. So it was a little disappointing. It was deep in the hepatic encephalopathy, so I don't have any recollection of as to what happened. She decided not to tell me till the last minute that they got another phone call, they got another liver. Again, we weren't sure if it was gonna fit, but it wasn't until on my way to surgery, just before I went into the med, that I sort of realized what was happening. Immediately.
Really?
To my mouth. When you have, like a cirrhosis or potentially hepatic encephalopathy, not only are you slow functioning and you're weak, but the only way that I can describe it is you're like in this fog, and it's thicker than pea soup. It's a mental fog that you can't really do anything about it. Despite your way to will out of it, you can't. A little bit. You can't go to the internet to look for answers. You really can't. You can look up certain definitions, but if you're looking for hope, the internet's really not the place to go, because all you read about is fatalities. Look forward to going back to work. As soon as the doctors feel it's okay. Horrible. My daughter's, we discovered this when she was an infant. She's never known me well.
Really?
She's 8 now.